Hi guys, I'm just giving it another minute to make sure that people can access this video by 9 a.m. There does seem to be some sort of a delay in waking up to everyone's news feed, so I'm just giving it maybe a minute more before we begin. Aloha. All right, good morning, everybody. Hi, it's Monday. Don't know what it's like where you're at, but we have a beautiful carpet of clouds above us today. Nice and cool here in Montevideo. Let's go ahead and begin our yoga practice. We're going to start standing today. This class is going to be a little mix of actual standing yoga poses, plus some getting down onto our hands and our knees. If you have any protection available to you for your knees, any kind of a pillow or a towel, that might be nice to run and go get. All right, as we come to the front edge of our mat, let's put our feet down underneath our hips. We'll put a little space down there. We'll bring our arms alongside the thighs. Let's lift the shoulders. We're gonna roll them back and lower them down. Hug that low belly in. And I want you to feel as if you're leveling your chin with the earth. And if your face was the front of a drawer, let's just close that drawer a little bit. We're gonna push back through the front of the face. Close the eyes, take a breath. I want you to expand your ribs. I want you to take a bigger than normal breath. On the exhale, maybe hear that slight hiss leave as it leaves the body, right? Just like that Darth Vader breath or the sound of an ocean that's far in the distance. Allowing ourselves just a moment to transition onto the mat, onto this place of safety, of love. Let's caretake ourselves through this practice today. If there's anything that just doesn't suit you, please skip it. You can pick and choose what you want to do today. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center. Let's use our thumbs and push into the chest. Feel your chest, feel your heart. Give a little push back. On this next couple of breaths, can you liven up the toes a little, as if you're sinking your toes into a beautiful sandy beach. Go ahead and give them that movement of kind of digging in. As we find our toes going still, let's take a moment to flavor our practice today with a thought, an image, an idea, or maybe it's a person who we've been thinking of, a person who we'd like to include in this practice, sharing of this well-being with them. Right, then we're going to blink our eyes open. We're going to lower our arms down by our side. Let's take a breath in. As we do, turn the palms away from the body, reach out and up. And on the exhale, arms go back out and down. Stay tall. Let's keep going. Inhale, reach out, lift up. And exhale. So as long as the movement is going to be, your breath is going to be, right? Inhale, reach out, let it last this whole time. And exhale. Right, to get that longer reach in the arms, really activate the quads. Right? Use your thighs to root into the earth and allow the upper body to be graceful. Filling and emptying. Let's go one more round. And exhale. Hands go back behind, interlace fingers, or just grab your wrists, straighten those elbows, point your knuckles down, lower the shoulders, tuck the chin, hug the belly in. Feel as if you're pushing your hips slightly forward. Key there is slightly forward. Can you put a little weight onto your shoulders? Can you gaze to the horizon? Send the breath up into the collarbones, into those upper lobes of lungs. We'll do one more round of breath. And then it's time to counter pose. Take your knuckles to your low back, to the sacral bone. Pull the elbows forward, sink the chest wall back, and bow. On an inhale, gaze forward, reach those arms out to those side walls and lift them up. And on the exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart center and bend your knees. Let's sit into a chair pose. Right, in this chair pose, we want to have an active spine. Right, make sure your shoulders are behind you. Hug the belly in. Shoot the crown of head up. Shoot the hips back and down so that we're supporting a straight spine. Neutral would be another word. Take some breaths. Waking up those thighs. Can you take it a little deeper? Make sure your knees are happy with that depth. If not, go back to the other place. Find a place in your chair where your knees do not talk to you, where your knees are not even in the equation. You don't feel them at all. On your next breath in, lift those arms. Hallelujah, arms reach up and out. And exhale, go back into that chair pose. Moving with our breath. Inhale to push through those feet. Lift, separate the arms. Open the heart, and exhale, sink, chair pose. Do it again. Inhale and exhale. And our breathing patterns have really been compromised over the past week. A lot of shallow breathing happens when we're in our mind space. So you move at your own pace. Whatever your pace is today, finding those deeper breaths are what's more important. So sync your movement to your breath, even if it doesn't match my pace. I encourage movement of any kind. So if this video gets you up and dancing, go ahead and dance. If this video gets you up and doing something else you'd prefer to do, do that. Last one, we're gonna hold this chair. We're gonna take our arms and grab a hold of a big barrel. As you pull the barrel in, instead of letting it sink the chest wall back and tucking the chin, bring the heart forward as if your heart is penetrating, going to the center of that barrel. Shoulders are down. Neck is long, and breathe. One more breath. Sneak a peek. Are your knees as wide as your feet? If they're not, make them. One more breath. On this exhale, I want you to fold. Keep the big bend in the knees. As you bring the belly to the thigh, hang the head, hang the arms. You can even take your fingers if you feel balanced and run them through the hair. Touch your blocks. Anyone got blocks today? I've got my blocks. If you don't have blocks, bend your knees more and touch the ground. If you have 4 points of contact, take your blocks a little bit farther in front of you and give your head a nice vigorous shake. And on an inhale, can you straighten your knees and go into a half lift? Spine is extended horizontally and legs are vertical. Take your hands to the top of the blocks. You can be up on knuckles, down on the palms, your choice. And let's adjust that neckline. So tuck that chin ever so slightly and pull the tips of the ears forward. Draw the shoulders behind you. Draw the hips behind you. So you visualize that you have a center line. The spinal column is reaching forward, and those outside lines, shoulders and hips, are reaching back. Let's take a breath in. And on an exhale, bend the knees, release all of that activation, and find yourself hanging your upper body like a rag doll. Inhale, hands back to the blocks, go into that half lift, energize in 2 opposite directions at one time, and exhale, let it go. Let's do it again. Inhale, half lift, and exhale. Last round. Keeping your hands in front of your feet and the bend in the knees, can you tuck your tail even more, suck your belly button up and in, and start rolling to standing 1 vertebra at a time. And once you get nice and tall, do those backward shoulder loops. Again, backward shoulders. Anytime you open your mouth, find an exhale, whoosh. Let's separate our arms. Inhale, reach out to those side walls. Let's grab a hold of that right wrist and do a side bend to the left of the room. Inhale, squeeze those legs together, come up to center. And opposite direction to the right, pulling gently on that left wrist. Inhale, come back up to center. On the exhale, can you do a swan dive? Bend those knees. Find that half lift. Inhale, use your blocks or maybe your shins. And exhale, hug. Let's roll to standing. Hands in front of feet, tuck tail, tuck chin. Come on up. Use an exhale to lift the shoulders, pull them back and lower them down. Root through those legs. Inhale, reach your arms out. Grab a hold of that right wrist. Take a side bend to the left of the room. Inhale, come up center and to the right of the room. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, we're going to do swan dive. Find that half lift, that spinal extension, and the hug, which is a complete release of the upper body. Roll to standing. Articulate up the spine. On your exhale, lift your shoulders, roll them back and lower them down. 1 more round. Inhale. We have our side bends first. Go to the left. Inhale, up center and to the right. Inhale, open arms, swan dive. Find that half lift. Inhale. And exhale, hug. Rolling, here we go. Come on up to standing. On the exhale, lift the shoulders, roll them back and lower them down. Good, blink the eyes a moment. Place the hands alongside the thighs and just do a check-in. We haven't done a body scan today, so let's do that from the tip of the toes or the bottom of the feet and work your way up. Doesn't need to take a long time. Just visualize a red line scanning up the body. Let it really absorb all the information that's being relayed to you in sensations and feelings. How does everything feel? 1 more breath. All right, let's blink our eyes, wiggle our fingers as we take our arms back out to side walls, getting ready for a swan dive. All right, exhale. On this inhale, we're preparing. So go into your half lift. Maybe grab a hold of your blocks, pull them back by your feet. Pick up your right foot and send it far to the back edge of your mat. If you have that knee pillow ready, it's going to be available for that knee when we take it down, not quite yet. So we're in a runner's lunge. Blocks under the shoulders. Put the bend in that left knee so that it's right above the ankle. All right, as you take a breath in, straighten that front leg, push into your right heel, and curl your torso towards that shin. All right, let's make this an exhale. An exhale, we're going to sink the hips down. We're going to lift the head, open the heart. If your knee travels too far forward, scoot foot, scoot foot. So this is an exhale. An inhale is going to lift the hips, curl, tuck chin, push into the back heel, and exhale. You should feel a big stretch in the front of your right thigh. Inhale and exhale. Do you like this pace? If you don't, find your own pace. We're just doing 2 different movements. You can hang out longer in each of them. Again, the beauty of being at home is you can do what you want. But do something. One more, inhale. And exhale. All right, from here we drop that back knee to the earth. Release the toes if you can. If they stay under, no worries. Let's take our hands to our hips and push back a little bit. So now my front knee is behind my foot. My foot is in front of my knee, yeah? Hug that belly in, hug your low ribs in so we're not sticking forward the chest. And we're gonna take our thumbs to our shoulders, stick your elbows out to the side walls. Right, and on an inhale, I want you to lift your arms up. Pretend you have a big top hat. Take a breath. On an exhale, place the hat on the head and bring the hips forward, not the shoulders, not the head, just the hips. Inhale, back up, lift your hat up. And exhale, top hat down. So elbows are wide. Inhale. Exhale. Eyes are important for balance. Right, so allow yourself to focus at one spot. Move with your breath. And feel your body respond to what you're doing. We'll go for one more round. Inhale, lift. And exhale, melt. So as we melt, hands are going to just come all the way down. Good. Grab a hold of those blocks. Let's go ahead and pull the hips back as we do. Straighten up that left knee. Flex your foot for me. Is this called, it's a hamstring stretch. I can't, hurdler stretch maybe is another word for it. Take a breath. And on the exhale, we were doing a slight version of this earlier. This time, let's focus on reaching back through the outer left hip and folding. So in other words, you want this sharp crease here. So where you have this hip crease, this indent, you're just gonna try to take your belly. I'm not gonna try to take my head or my chin to my knee this time. I'm gonna make sure that the belly is touching, or try to. How's another way to accomplish that? Just put a bend in the knee. You're still getting a big stretch in the back of the leg. Be patient. If there was a goal here, it would be to have limited space between belly and thigh. Nothing to do with chin to chest, nothing to do with getting this entire body to the leg. Do you feel a stretch? That's the goal. Don't worry about what you look like. Do you feel a stretch in the hamstring? You could add a little wiggle side to side. I love movement. Last breath. Good. From here, let's walk the blocks back a little bit. So if this foot needs to swing out, I do that these days, just move your block. We're switching legs. We're gonna take that left knee down. We're gonna bring the right foot forward. Tuck your back toes. Let's go up to that runner's lunge where the back knee is off the mat. And you have a nice stacking of right knee over ankle. Right as you take a breath in, you straighten the front leg. We are curling this time, and those blocks can be wherever they are supportive in this balance. On the exhale, we soften and really get this beautiful stretch here in the front of the left hip. So tight for me. Ooh. Inhale. And exhale. For you, what part of your body is tighter? Is it the back line or is it the front line? And sometimes you'll notice it's a specific part of the back or the front. For me, it's definitely the front of the hips. Hip flexors, psoas. If you've been a runner a lot in the past, most likely tighter hips for you. Right, I was definitely in that category once upon a time. Moving with your breath at your pace. Let's go last round. Drop that back knee, release the toes, push back into that front foot, get here, hands to hips. How do you feel? Pretty balanced? Can you do a little check-in? Thumbs to shoulders. Inhale, lift that hat up. On the exhale, placing the big top hat on your head. Inhale, let's do it. And exhale. So you can add more energy to whatever it is we're doing, or you can add less energy. Right? Make the class personalized to you by making these decisions. Right? If yoga is new for you, do what you can, but try to stay in your body. It's really hard. You're listening to me, you're watching me, right? You're like, ugh. But eventually you can get to that point where I'm just a guide and your body is is actually better, a bigger guide, right? I'm just a person talking. Your body's telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Last one. Let's go ahead and melt those elbows all the way back and down. Grab those blocks. We're doing the hamstring stretch, so flex the toes, straighten the knee, take a breath, pull back, straighten the leg, pull back, lift the heart, pelvic tilt, increase, right, this crease. As you fold forward, it's nothing to do with the head, the shoulders, or the heart. Just be patient. What's lovely about the sticky mat is it holds your heel in place. It is stuck. It is kind of glued down. And so you pull your sit bone back, you pull the hips back, and yeah, that's the stretch we're going for. That's it. It doesn't matter if you fold all the way down to the leg or not. This is a hamstring stretch. If you can fold with a nice hip crease, go for it. Take a couple breaths. And you can add that little hip shake, hip sway. All right, from here, move the blocks back. Let's take this foot out to the side. Child's pose. Move your blocks forward, widen your knees, settle the hips, bring the hands under the forehead, inflate the ribs and the belly. And if it feels okay, do that smudging, that moving of those hips from side to side, that rocking. Right now, oftentimes when we are in stillness, our mind is not. If you feel like your mind is somewhat free, take a moment to be in stillness, body and mind. Focus on your breath. Blink your eyes. Right, lift the head. Let's go into tabletop pose. What we are going to do today, bringing the knees under the hips, is extend a leg out to the side wall. We'll start with our right leg. So as I extend my right foot out, I can take the sole of my foot down or be up on the edge. Does not matter. If you run through a round of cat-cow with me, notice how it's okay here, but you feel a much deeper groin stretch, right? And then tuck tail. Actually, this one's easier. This one is a little harder, so be careful as you run through this. And if you want to just take a regular round of cat-cow with both knees down, go for it. Let's not rush through them. Sometimes I find myself doing that, especially when I have my own practice at home. I'm not as patient when I'm alone. Again, I think the mind gets the better of me and I just start to think of other things I could do. Last round. All right, let's go ahead and find that neutral spine. Pull shoulders away from ears. Come up onto the tippy toe of that right foot. So I want you to engage your belly, right? And then draw a line back. Once that foot is behind you, elevate your foot, flatten it out as if your foot is glued to the wall behind you. I try to level out your hips best you can. And then I want you to go ahead and come off the palm of your left hand. That just means the palm, not the fingertips. So you've Got 5 fingertips on your left hand, still down on the earth. And you might feel a shake and a quake. All right, lift up your thumb, your pinky, your pointer, your ring, and your middle. Now, reach your hand forward. Keep your palm facing down until your elbow's extended. Lift the arm right alongside the ear. Turn the thumb up, but make a fist and pull the shoulder back. Look straight down at the earth. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Lower that hand, lower that knee, wag those hips side to side. Here we go, left leg, left foot out to the left side of the mat. Foot is down on the edge. You're trying to just go straight out from the hip. Cat, cow. Actually, since the cow's harder, let's do the cat first. So we can use an inhale here. It doesn't matter if it's an exhale or not. And go. Inhale. And exhale. How does that feel in the groin? How does that asymmetry feel in the hips? If it doesn't feel good, right, just do your regular rounds of cat and cow. Last one. Neutral spine, come up onto your big toe, activate your belly, shoulders away from ears. So drag that toe back, that's kind of what it feels like. Flex the foot, lift it up to the height of the hips. Look straight down with your eyes. Come off of your right palm, leave your fingertips down. Then take off your thumb, your pinky, your pointer, your ring, and your middle finger. Right, as you reach your hand forward, palm is facing down until the arm goes up alongside the ear. Turn the thumb up, grab a hold of make a fist, and then pull back. Breathe. Level out your body line. 1 more breath. Lower the hand, lower the knee, wag the hips side to side. All right. Let's take our hands, 1 handprint forward, tuck those toes, shift your weight. Tuck, lift, downward facing dog. How do you feel today in your down dog? What is tighter? Do you want to pedal out through the heels? I feel like swaying my hips from side to side, getting more of a rib stretch, or more of a torso stretch. Always making your own decisions, just trying to find our way comfortably into a down dog. To me, down dog is like a very formal outfit, and it takes this finagling to get into it. It's form-fitting, right? So it's not easy just to pop up into it. You gotta, right, do a little adjustment here, do a little adjustment there. Take your time, smooth out the wrinkles. Whoosh. While we are here, spread your fingers, push down into the tips. Hug your low belly up and in and just keep it there. So every breath, extend your ribs sideways. Take 1 more breath. And from here, we're gonna drop down to the knees. You're gonna go back into a child's pose. Sweep your hands by your feet this time. Right, allow your forehead to come all the way down and go heavy through the arms, like big wet noodles. Put a little movement into your fingers. Right, let's bring the elbows forward. As you plant them down, shoulder width, walk them forward, palms together, sink hips back, and see about those triceps. If you already feel pain in the shoulders, widen the space between them, keep the hands forward. Right, if you want to explore a deeper stretch, tuck that chin, get your thumb starting to move back towards the body. Two more breaths. Let's take the hands forward, lift the head. Go ahead and come off of the hips. Bring the hips forward. use your blocks. If you don't have your blocks, use your hands. Bring your right foot forward, tuck your left toes, blocks even farther forward. As you come off that back knee, you're at the front of your mat. And I always have my blocks somewhere off a little bit to the side, always in reach though. Let's start in a standing forward fold. I call this a ragdoll chair. So the upper body is completely released and the legs have a bend to them. It's a really nice supported forward fold. Now you're going to take your hands above the knees to the thighs. Hug that belly in and go into a half lift here. Think about adding just a little more distance in the neck area by pulling shoulders away. And then you can reach your arms out to the side walls like an airplane. Push down through the feet, scoop the hips forward and rise. Come all the way up. Inhale, inhale. Right, and exhale, hands back in front of heart center. Good, blink those eyes. We're gonna take just a moment, so shake it out, fix your clothes. Maybe grab a sip of water. Right, if you don't have water, I don't have water, I'm not prepared today. Yeah, just do a little bit of movement, that would feel good. I'm also going to take the opportunity to close my sliding door because I hear my neighbor out there working on his yard, so hold on. Okay. All right, so finished up with our water break, moving to the front of our mat. Let's go through some sun salutations. So sun salutations, always nice to have that knee pillow on the ready. Do what you can. Hands back in front of heart center. Inhale, press the hands together and lift them up. On the exhale, go for a beautiful swan dive. That's your version of beauty. Don't think someone else's. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to hug. Yoga is a blend of lengthening and strengthening. Reach that right leg back. Drop the knee. Relax the toe. Inhale, lift. So we're going to move with our breath. Exhale. Melt those elbows. Go into a child's pose. If you find yourself behind, don't rush. Don't rush. Inhale, I want you to come forward into a kneeling plank. That means leave your shins down. Hands under the shoulders. On the exhale, bend your elbows, keep them in by your sides, and lower your belly to the earth. Inhale, open into a cobra. Oh, good, you can still see me. Exhale. That was kind of high. I was just looking in the camera. Inhale, push the earth away. Right. Pull the belly button and the hips back. Child's pose. Inhale, you're going into a low lunge. Your right foot is forward. This is why I like the blocks. See how helpful they are? Arms up. Exhale to melt. Inhale, step to the front of your mat in a half lift. Exhale to fold. We'll find chair pose here. Inhale. On the exhale, knuckle sweep down. Whoosh, and reach your hips forward, underneath you, arms lift all the way up, hands back into prayer. Blink, blink, blink. That might have been a lot. That might be nothing. Right? We're all practicing together. Modify, take your breaks, breathe out of your mouth if you need to release some heat. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swan dive. Last time we started with our right leg. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to hug. So left legs turn, grab your blocks, take that knee all the way back and down, lift the arms up, and exhale, melt. Child's pose. Inhale, and exhale, sink into whatever version of child's pose you want, but we're not here long, right? Send your hands in front of you. Inhale, kneeling plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, just a baby cobra. Big backward shoulder loop, reach through both legs, lift the heart slightly, and exhale. Push the ground away. Pull those hips back into a child's pose. Inhale, shift hips forward, grab blocks, left foot to the front edge of your mat. Arms lift, and melt. Inhale, half lift at the front edge. Exhale to hug. Chair pose. Inhale. Exhale. Move it out. Whoosh down first and then scoop your arms forward and lift up. Palms press together. Lower in front of the heart center. Blink the eyes. Just think of all the energy we can get so we can do some housework. Woo-hoo. Let's do another round. Slightly different this time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open arms, swan dive. Half lift. And hug. Right leg goes back. Keep the knee off the mat for me. Right. Arms always balance better if they're out to the side. So as you lift them up, maybe you stop here. Maybe you keep going. And exhale to melt. So now we're going to transition into plank pose. You could still take the knees down to the ground if you want, or keep the knees off the mat. Take a breath. On the exhale, guide yourself to the earth. Try to stay in one piece. Inhale, open into a cobra. Keep it small. And exhale. Push the earth away. As your hips come back, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. If you want to take these 5 breaths in child's pose, go for it. All right, on our next breath, then I want to move the right foot up towards the ceiling. So lift it up, sweep it up. On the exhale, bend the knee, hug it underneath the body, plant that foot between your hands. You're going for crescent lunge. Can you use your blocks again right here? Transition, transition, transition. So you're just stepping up. Nice and smooth and balanced. Exhale to melt. Standing forward, standing half lift at the front of your mat. How about that? Standing half lift. Breathe in, exhale, let it go. Chair pose, inhale. All right, let's go. Whoosh, down first, then scoop under, lift up. Palms together. Lower in front of heart center. I definitely feel like I'm waking up. All those fluids are moving. Woo! All right, so we have the left side to lead the way. Inhale to lift arms. Exhale, open, swan dive. Go for that half lift here. Inhale and hug. Bend those knees, lower those hips. Reach back with the left leg, arms off to the sides of those hips to rise. And melt. Whoosh. You've got a plank pose. No blocks for plank pose. All right, inhale. Knees to the ground is fine. Exhale, go. Cobra. You can make it a little bigger if your low back likes bigger. And exhale. Tuck your toes. It's downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Whoosh. You could keep still in down dog. You could move in down dog. You could be in child's pose. I guess you could even be doing dishes. I mean, really. Next breath, sweep that left foot up towards the ceiling. Use your eyes, track them to your thumb. That's where you're going to plant your foot down. Swing it forward and under. Reach those arms out to side walls or use your blocks to step it up. And melt. Whoosh. Come to the front edge of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to hug. We got that chair pose to do. Inhale. Move it out. Whoosh. And rise. Come on up. Palms together. Lower them in front of heart center. Whew. Inhale, let your hands, space grow between your hands, like a heartbeat. Exhale, push. Right, the heart fills. And then it squeezes and pumps it out. Sends it throughout the body. Inhale. And exhale. That's how the body feels when we breathe, right? Even if this is the only thing you've done for this whole practice, do it again. Good, hands in front of heart center. Now I want you to look forward and find a lovely spot in front of you that does not move, something that is nice and solid. Let's come off the right heel. I want you to swing your heel over towards your opposite ankle. So to the left ankle, the knee now starts to point out, and I call this kickstand, right? Just like a little bicycle kickstand. So both toes, both sets of toes are down, just your right heel is over to your left ankle. I think you can see that. And then, as you start to lighten any load you have on the front of those right toes, right foot, you start to flex it. Keep your heel where it's at. How does it feel? Right? Shift your awareness out of the mind. Go away from those expectations, those judgments. Go away from those thoughts that drag us down and be in the body. Let it quake. Let it shake. I'm certainly quaking and shaking. Take your foot to your calf and breathe. Focus with your eyes and try to keep the mind empty. Inhale, open those arms, breathe. Exhale, push. Pump it around. Inhale, fill. Exhale, pump it around. One more time, inhale. Increase circulation. Take your right knee forward, right? As you flex the foot, your foot is behind the body, your knee's in front of your body. It's like you're taking a step. That's a pretty nice balance. Then I want you to bring that foot in front of you if you can. Pick up your back heel and just circle your ankle. Gently move your hands and breathe. Good. All right, coming back, maybe I'll go a tiny bit farther back. All right, we know what we're doing now. It's not a mystery. We're balancing, right? Sort of like a tree pose with different arms, hands here. So all we're focused on is balancing. Remember, you never attain balance. You just practice balance. That's something that you just practice all the time. Let's go ahead and do our kickstand. So we're going to pick up our left heel, swing it over to the right leg, right? And then start to lift. I didn't talk about that before. Bring your hips to center, lift up through crown of head. This is that magical fairy dust that we need to have, this activation of the body. When you flex that left foot and the toes come off the mat, you just check in. One side is usually better than the other. Which side is this for you? We acknowledge, but we don't get sucked into that. We just go, oh yeah, that's what it is. Take the foot to the calf and breathe. Oh, let's do our bigger breath. Inhale, open hands. It's kind of like playing an accordion. Exhale. The music is coming out, right? Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Again. I don't really remember how many times we did it. We'll just stay here for a moment. But you're going to point your left knee forward, flex your foot. Oh, and then as you just have it here, the knee is in front, the foot is in back, like you're taking a step almost. Mid-step. And then go ahead, place that foot in front of you. Right, pick up your right foot and circle the ankle. Good, shake it out. Nice. All right, let's take it down for a little bit. So let's go to seated. How about that? So for seated, I usually love to use props. It's up to you, however you want to do it. I would take these blocks. I actually form this really weird V. You don't have to be that crazy. And then the knee pillow now becomes my ankle support. Maybe I'll try to face you directly. Okay. Here we go, here we go. The point is to be comfortable and have a straight spine. That's really what we want. Sometimes we need a wall behind us to attain that. It's just that hard to teach all those muscles, to retrain them. Little babies, I have a grandson, he's 2. He can sit ramrod straight, but as we grow, right, as we walk more and more, as we sit, we start to just really get slumpy in our belly, right? So we have to retrain those muscles. Right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and take our right hand. We're going to lower it down to the earth. Just a little farther away, but that's fine because I actually want to lean over. I'm sorry. This is the left hand. I'm used to mirroring, so this is really my left hand. So really, left hand is going down. Right arm lifts up and comes all the way over. As we take this side bend, I want you to pull your ribs to the right. And then I want you to bring your arm forward and turn the heart down. That's going to be an exhale. And an inhale, roll open. And exhale. Inhale, roll it up. and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Inhale, ignite that right hand, those right fingers, let them come all the way up and over. Plant them down, take that side bend. Right, on an exhale, we're gonna roll down. Inhale to turn open and exhale. Again, please be checking in with the hips, especially that low back. If this does not feel good, skip it. You could always take the opportunity to do some personal grooming, maybe check in with those toes, belly lint, right? Now is the time for us to do those things we usually feel too busy and too rushed to do. Last one. All right, let's push ourselves back up to center and let's start to flow from side to side with our breath. So this is going to be an exhale, whoosh, and an inhale. So we're really lifting and inspiring ourselves in between, and exhale, we let it go. Inhale. All right, last round. All right. Good, let's come back to center. Extend your feet forward. Okay guys, I'm a massage therapist. My husband's told me I can work on him just to keep my hands moving every day. But I've let my nails grow. This is kind of weird. But we're all gonna do a little massage to the leg, right? So you're gonna take your hands, and this is the collar of the leg. This is where the leg meets the body. So take your hands, and I want you to start turning that thigh. This is really great for lymphatic flow, right? We don't need to get into a whole lesson on lymphatic. If you are familiar with the system, right, you're with me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just think lymph nodes and then use Google. Lymphatic system is so important to, so many things are important. I can't say it's as important as our circulatory system, but it's pretty dang important. So let's get that moving. So now you're just gonna do whatever massage technique you have, right, and get creative. I make stuff up all the time, and you're just trying to move that flesh, the muscle, right? Trying to make an impact, right? Kind of deep, vigorous, doesn't hurt though, because you're using broad hands. Don't use fingers. When you come to the knee, move your foot in a little closer. Say hi to the knee. There's not much tissue around the knee, so we just give it lots of love, especially if this is your bad knee. But behind the knee, we have lots of lymph nodes. So let's go ahead and take a couple fingers and gently push in and stimulate. You can push in and do a little circle, a little hook, right? You could use both sets of hands. You could kind of get in there. When I'm massaging, I think of bread dough, right? A big pot of bread dough, or a loaf, a big round bread dough, right? You're trying to really knead it. And then you're going to move down to the calf. Maybe use your thumbs and push in to the back of the calf. You could also do that little twisting in opposite directions. If you don't have pants that reach all the way down, be careful for the skin. Right? This is a little easier to do when you have clothes on. I noticed the difference from here to here. And all I'm trying to do is really just wake up. You can feel that flesh feels a little different down here, sensation-wise. Because this is like the shed. Our feet are like the shed of our body. It's out there. It's outside your house almost. And there's lots of cobwebs. There's lots of bugs if you don't visit your shed often. So we want a clean shed. And my shed is that way, obviously. And so we come down here and we stroke and we let our feet feel inclusive. Our legs. All right, and then you get to the feet, pull that foot way in. And now you get to check for those toe cleanlinesses. Here we go, toes. Say hi, get every one of them moving. Massage the feet, the bottom. All right, so there we go. Love to one side, move to the other. Right, if somebody still would like to be doing standing yoga, you could get back up. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. Just utilize this time on your mat to give yourself what you need. I can't stress that more. Everything I say is just a suggestion. You are the best, right, leader. You are the best guide for your body. Okay, let's get moving on this leg. Let's get ourselves down to that knee. Give it some love. Remember, anytime you need that foot to come in a little closer, don't overreach. Bring the foot in. Lymph nodes in the back of the knee. And then calf and shin. It's also nice sometimes to really press in right alongside the bone. So we have that shin bone right there, just digging in right behind it. Make your way to the ankle. Ankle's the same as the knee. You just kind of give it some love. Mwah. And then find yourself looking, I could really use a pedicure. Got to do that at home, but it's that gel. I don't know how to get the gel off. Send me a personal message if you know how to get the gel off of. I don't think I have a Dremel tool. Dremel tool. I don't know how to get it off. All right, let's finish up with our leg massages. Great. Now we're gonna stick our right foot in front of us and our left. You can come off your blocks or if you want, I'm just gonna adjust mine a little. Left foot in front, right foot is back. Right, sitting tall. We're gonna grab a hold of this leg for a moment and we're just gonna do that really straight flagpole spine. Pull your shoulders back, lower them down, and then get comfortable through your sit bones. Your left foot should still be flexed and active. Is it on there? Yeah. Good. Now see if you can cross this foot over. Right foot crosses over. It doesn't have to. If you can, hug it in again. So hugging belly to thigh, shooting crown of head up, dropping shoulders. You might feel a little opening on the outside of the hip. All right, now what I want you to do is lean back. So you have to use my left hand to make sure I don't fall back. Right arm, sweep it back and lower it all the way down to the earth. Your fingers are facing away and you are turning your shoulder girdle to the right. Take your left hand to the outside of the leg, whether your foot is here or here. And then inhale, I want the spine to lengthen, but I want it to be in a reverse diagonal. The head is behind the shoulders, is behind the hips. And now all I want you to do, if those shoulders are turned to the right, is sweep your eyes to the back of the room and breathe. I want this breath to be soft. I don't want it to be aggressive. I prefer for it to be nice and juicy, patient and kind. So your back elbow is bent, right? You're really accessing the space behind you. Last one. Push yourself back up to seated. All right, let's take this foot. We're gonna flex it and let the knee go down. So if that doesn't feel good to the knee, maybe farther away with the foot or just send the leg forward. Make sure you're on both sit bones evenly. Let's inhale to lift our arms and exhale to, I wanna flow a forward fold. So let it feel like a wave coming up onto the shore. Inhale, can you pull your belly button back? Draw your fingers along the ground. Tuck the chin, tuck the tail. Inhale, lift. And exhale, flow. Inhale. Oh, we gotta go all the way up on that inhale. That's a lot. Exhale. So we need to come back a little faster. Inhale. Lift all the way up. Make sure you activate that spine and then whoosh, let it go. Last round. Inhale. And exhale. How about this? Maybe sit up a little. Bring that right foot in front of you and just do a nice little forward fold. My knees are bent. They are not straight. I'm not over trying. I'm actually just getting my belly, my torso to rest on my thighs by bending my knees and just hanging out. Take another breath. Walk your hands back, get yourself upright. Let's go ahead. Left knee bends and we pull in, we sit tall, flagpole spine, long neck. Right foot is flexed. Let's make that choice or not. Does the foot go over or not? Not a requirement. Both sit bones evenly rooted. Left hand, sweep it back behind you, lean into it. Head and shoulders draw back. Right arm to the outside of the left leg. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, eyes, neck, sweep, and turn back. Now focus the breath on your belly, softly, gently, kindly. This is not the time to take out our aggression. Our spines need love. They are ever so important, so we give them their just due. We are patient. We are accepting of where we are at. Grab a hold of that front leg with your right hand and slowly come up. Here we go. Taking the foot out to the side, taking a breath in, lifting up. On an exhale, it's like a wave. Whoosh. Inhale, draw the belly in. So you're rounding up. And then we have to kind of lift up and get tall. And exhale. Good time to release any junk. Right, use this exhale, cleanse. Last round. All right, here's where we're gonna bring the left foot forward, put the bend in, get the belly to the thigh. So for those of you who like straight knee bends, personally, just for me, I've done too much yoga and it's just a lot for the back of my legs. I will visit a straight knee. I just don't live in a straight knee. All right, so you can just pedal. Right, forward folds are introverted poses. They allow you to kind of really, right, get that focus within. If that's something you feel you need, forward bends are great. They're calming, they're soothing. If you feel too calm, too soothing, you do a back bend, right? Let's do rocking side to side. All right, walk your hands back. Let's go to the spine. As you take yourself all the way back and down, let's start with our knees bent. We're almost finished with class. We're coming up towards the end of class. Right, let's widen our feet. I'm gonna go all the way off my mat, so my feet are wider than my mat. Take the arms out to the side with a bend to the elbow and no activation in the upper body. Upper body is passive. I'm gonna flex my left foot and bring my inner thigh, my inner knee towards the mat. Again, this is that beautiful front hip quad opening. The flex of the foot protects the knee. And if it still doesn't work, say you have a really damaged knee, you wouldn't do this. That would not feel good to the knee joint. So if my knee was talking to me right now, I would quit doing this and maybe just do a nice little windshield wipering with the knees a little bit, not this extreme. When you're ready to switch sides, careful, pick it up and go the other side. Squeeze the butt, push the knee down. Again, as long as the knee doesn't complain, activate more by squeezing your glute muscle and pushing that knee down. Some people even take the opposite foot and place it on top. If you feel strain in your low back, same thing. Let's temper it. Let's not enter into any triggered activities. All right, when you're ready, you start to just take it at your own pace. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. They'll be slow breaths. let's walk our feet back on our mat. Let's lift our arms or extend our arms overhead so the arms are right alongside the ears. Our hands are still possibly on the ground. Can you push gently through your feet, pick up your hips, and tuck your tail? Place your spine back down onto the earth. Now what I want you to do, I might turn a little sideways, is I want you to reach your arms out behind you. I've locked my thumbs or touching my thumbs, wound them together, and I'm going to tuck my tail and reach back. I'm going to use a little pressure into the feet and give a nice extension to the spine. All right, that's an inhale. Let's find that as an inhale. On an exhale, cactus your elbows, keep your arms close to the mat, and really arch your back. Inhale, reach your arms over as behind you. Hi, Stella. Tuck that tail, push down through the spine, and then exhale, arch the back. Your hips should be moving through pelvic tilt and pelvic tuck. Seeing Stella reminds me that class should be over if you have to leave now. Right, remember this video is always accessible, I do believe, on my page. You could do these at any time. If you liked yesterday's practice a little bit more than today's, no worries. You don't have to do every practice that I put out. Try to look at the name of the practice, try to remember it. You could even take these videos and I think save them under the save feature, and then do the one that you like. Right? Do something. That's really the name of the game during this time, is do something. All right, let's neutralize the spine so you let your belly rest. Get your arms a little bit more comfortable, and for a moment knock the knees together and just heavy sigh out. Gather those knees into the chest, put that little rock. So I said gather knees to chest, but I really didn't even bring them past my hips. So elbows are pretty much straight. This is where it feels good to massage around the sacrum. You might find it in another location. So your elbows are bendable. Find that place that feels good to rock. Let's end with happy baby today, right? So many ways to cue this pose. Does it really matter if you know happy baby? Do your favorite way. Right, for those of you who want to follow along, you could grab your big toes and shift your elbows to the inside of the knees, or grab the outside edges of the feet, or grab the ankles, the shins, whatever is accessible. Point is to get your elbows to the inside of your knees, and your shins should be vertical. If you need to look for a moment, vertical. This is not vertical. Right, this is okay in a second, but start here if you can, really proper. And then what you do is try to push your tailbone down to the earth and just be patient. Notice the knees start to just shift out by themselves. You might think you're pulling them out, but you're really, if you don't, it's the release of the psoas, and we're looking for that release. Once you have it, then you can do whatever you want. You could bring your heels closer to your bottom. You could straighten up through those knees. Right, I encourage you to, again, always create your own practice. If you like an inversion, you could simply go into a plow pose. You could go into shoulder stand. If that's something that you're not familiar with, no need to even attempt it at this time. We're at the end of our practice. We want to have felt better now than we did when we began. Right? The practice of yoga is being mindful and moving with your breath. Yoga asana means physical movement. So breathe as we move our body. Let's take our hands to our belly, or extend and keep the feet down, or extend them out. However you choose to stay after I close out practice. Shavasana would be awesome. I haven't offered it yet at this time while I'm filming it, but you're free to always drop into Shavasana and just hang out after practice is over. So close the eyes. Allow yourself this gift of staying just a couple more minutes. Right, if you felt that you worked hard, I kind of fall in that category. I'm sort of off of my normal schedule, so that felt like a good amount of work for me. Right? This resting time is beautiful, right? It's like deserved. You're like, oh, I did something. Right? Let's honor our bodies. Let's honor this time that we have to really spend quality time with our family, with our house, right? Could your house use some love? We may not be able to get out and about like we normally are, but we are allowed to walk out in nature. We are allowed to go get supplies. Let's do what we can to support each other, and that is usually at this point meaning to stay distant. Right? Stay safe. My next practice is tomorrow night at 5. Again, anytime I post a video, when it's over, you can watch the whole thing from front to end. Namaste. To all my friends who are watching, I love you guys. I wish I could see you Whole Foods Friday someday soon. Namaste. You can keep going in Shavasana. Stay there.